So I'm just taking it now onto that broadcast, onto the Facebook page. And then, we are doing this as a pilot, as a test, just to see how the reaction from people who are not present in the meeting, what the response is going to be, and all of that. So it's live at the moment. So please, you can go onto it. Okay. It's been live streamed. It's live at the moment. So you can go onto it and on Facebook. So I'm going to put it, let me put it on the chat. Everyone can pick it up from there. It's at it's live right now, so you can pick it up from there. That's where it is on Facebook. Then you can pick it and share it on 10 to 10 groups and do a screen grab and post it on Connect.
Great.
Okay. Dr. Linus, we are live there. You can go now. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all the participants on this occasion. As Brother B has indicated, we intend to have these sessions every 2 weeks by way of updating the community. This is so important because we have embarked on what is probably one of the greatest movements of our time, where we have come to the realization that we need to start shaping our own narrative. We need to start shaping the future. We need to embrace a single method of exchange that works for our people.
Just one minute, Dr. Linus, your video is off. We can't see you. I don't know if it's only me.
My video is on. I can see myself on a tiny.
Yeah, I can see him. I can see him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. If your video is on for others, then it's fine.
Okay, super. So as I always take the opportunity to remind, we are gathered to try and address two key problems. The first is financial exclusion or financial inclusion, whichever way you look at it. In most countries within continental Africa and the African diaspora, parts of our communities are excluded from accessing financial services. This is as much as 80% in some countries. And this is a great source of poverty for many people who are not able to participate in the modern digital economy in any way. The second is to have a single instrument of exchange that will enable trade between individuals, businesses, and countries within continental Africa. In Africa, we have about 54 countries, and in those 54 countries, over 40 different currencies. So it is more difficult for somebody in Eswatini to trade with somebody in Nigeria, or for somebody in Nigeria to trade with somebody in South Africa, or somebody in South Africa to trade with somebody about 4 countries and in Egypt. So one of the ways that we can address this is to have an accessible medium of exchange. And that is what the LUMI provides. The LUMI provides that common accessible instrument that we can all use to exchange value in real time. That is accessible to individuals, businesses, and states. By doing this, we are over 1.3 billion strong within continental Africa itself. And if you add the African diaspora to that, then you're talking of a population well in excess of about 2 billion people. By trading amongst ourselves and using this common instrument of exchange, the LUMI, we will be creating an opportunity and laying a foundation for future generations to build on. So we call on every member of the community and all well-wishers to contribute to this initiative. What we're going to go through today is just very quickly some of the changes that we have introduced on the platform that can give you a very quick view on how you can navigate and find what you want and begin the process of contributing to the narrative and the discussion. I'm going to share my screen very quickly, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Okay. And I'm going to share. I don't have the opportunity to share my entire screen, but I'll share this. I'll share this particular window. Can you see that? So when you go to Connect, and now why Connect? Connect, we see Connect as the one-stop place where it's like a reception area for the community where everybody comes into, and then from there we'll be able to access a range of other services. So even if you already have a Swifin account, it is important that you have an account on Connect. All help will now be focused on Connect. All the discussion and exchange of ideas and knowledge sharing will happen on Connect. And there is a mechanism on Connect to now start compensating people as they participate in exchanging ideas and animating the community to participate in the knowledge sharing economy. Once you log in, so if you don't have an account, we would encourage you to create an account immediately. To create an account, you simply click on this button here, and that should then open up a simple window with very basic information. This is quite important because we want everybody who comes here to be able to have an account and to be able to access. And then we'll have other layers of approval built on top of this basic access. One of the layers that we hope to implement would be a community endorsement or community nomination aspect, where we'll build an index where members of the community can vouch and vote that they know you very well, so that you can begin to access other services that are available on the platform. This is important for a number of reasons. Within continental Africa, we just came back from a 6-month trip where we visited many countries, and we discovered that on the ground, there are many people who are parts of various communities who may not have an ID card. So if you are introducing a system that is intended to serve the very needy, and it is based solely on being able to capture somebody's ID card, and many potential beneficiaries don't have it, not because they don't want to have it, but because the system hasn't permitted them to have it in a timely fashion. We must develop other solutions and other tools that work for the community that will enable these people to participate in a meaningful way. And that's why we are going to be relying on members of the community to vote for their community members that they know fully well, to propose them to access other services. And then they'll be presented with the option to provide any additional KYC information as may be needed. So this is the first step. It's like the reception area where everybody comes into. I'm not going to go through the process of registering now. So I'm going to log in to an existing account, which is mine, for example. So if you already have an account, then you simply log in. When you log in, it will take you to, again, the landing page, where you would see very quickly, on the left-hand side, there will be a quick access to your profile information and all community-related activities that you might want to participate in, and then some quick link buttons that you might want to just simply click to access. Now, currently, we also have this white area here that you see for updates. That is quite important. It will be a permanent feature on this landing page where we provide updates about various things that are going on. So for example, right now, you wouldn't be able to access the Swifin account because we're going through a maintenance exercise. Hopefully that should finish by close of day today, and you should be able to access it subsequently. But when that happens, then we'll always endeavor to put an announcement here. So that link takes you to your Swifin account, and within Connect itself, there is a simple mechanism to actually make payments. Now, most people are not aware of this. So if you have a certain balance in your Connect account, you can actually start transferring to each other in a very simple but very quick fashion. So when you click on payment, it typically will bring up this window here, where you would put, here you need to put the recipient's username, okay? That is the username. And how do you know a particular person's username? You can click on their profile picture. For example, if I click on this particular member here, Dinio Motsapi, then here, that in that URL, that will give you the username for that particular individual. So that's Dino Motsapi. So you can just copy that if you wanted to make a payment to him, and then go back to that screen. You can also access the payment page by just simply clicking on pay at the top. Now, when you put his username, then it should come up. Just make sure you select it. You put the amount that you want to pay. That is in Lumi, obviously. And then we are going to introduce other currencies, Nigerian Naira and all the local currencies within continental Africa, for example. That is important because we want to create an ecosystem where the Lumi can work side by side with every local currency within continental Africa, and then create the opportunity to onboard financial institutions that can continue to deliver services to their customers in the respective local currency areas in their local currency. So when a Nigerian bank, for example, is onboarded, then they will be able to take over the responsibility for creating a market between the Nigerian Naira or NGX representative here and the Lumi, and they can begin to accept deposits from customers and enable those customers to access both the NGX on the Connect platform or the Lumi for that matter. And so the idea is that these institutions need to play the vital role of being the market maker in the respective jurisdictions, but also continuing to provide the services that they are known and regulated to provide. And Connect and the platform itself would simply remain a technology platform that ensures equitable access to both individuals, businesses, financial institutions, and even governments. So in this particular case, I'm going to keep it as AKL. If you want to leave a quick message, you can do that, and you just click send. That transfer should get completed immediately. It's done. And if you want to see it at the bottom of your screen, you would be able to see a summary of that transaction. Here, you see the payment has been done to Dinio Motsapi. Many people are not aware of this, but this is how you can continue the real-time exchange of value. Now, why is this important? This is important because if you are a farmer, you produce bananas, you might want to reserve a bunch of bananas for somebody who is coming from the city to buy it because they're either going to be driving by or they're going to be in the vicinity, and you want to take the opportunity to sell it to them. You can collect your payment first. They pay, you set it aside for them, and then they can come and collect. This is important because I have witnessed at a personal level where farmers have taken produce to market, they haven't found a buyer, and they have to incur the cost of taking those things back into their homes. And in some cases, they may just abandon them in the market. But by creating a more efficient ecosystem that is accessible to everybody, no matter where they live, no matter where they are, no matter what currency they are naturally exposed to transacting, we now have a common benchmark or a common mechanism for exchanging value between members of the community. And of course, you have to be a member of this community in order to participate. That's why you need to create your account on Connect and be part of this. Okay, so that's one thing that you get very quickly from the home page. So if I can go back to the home page, so you can access that. Now with deposits, again, this is where if you are dealing with a financial institution, then a financial institution can do the same transaction that I did on Connect in a very simple way. We would provide other tools that really would be used across those domains. But right now, that particular aspect can also be used. So you may find that for the moment, the pay and the deposit point to the same page. We are going to introduce a mechanism. Remember, the Lumi is an instrument of exchange. And so we want to encourage exchange. So we're building an ecosystem that will promote utility around using the Lumi so that people can begin to exchange goods and services and trade in order to create wealth and make sure that everyone can access opportunities within our communities. For those that do not have Lumi to participate, of course, they can buy. But because we have this simple mechanism on that payment to exchange Lumi between two parties, you realize that that in itself creates an open market opportunity for people to participate in exchanging Lumi against other assets or against other goods and services, including local currencies, where some people, for example, somebody who might want to come online to buy things on the shop who doesn't have Lumi could buy Lumi from a friend or from somebody else. And we create an active market around the Lumi, thereby building on its utility as a medium of exchange for goods and services. And then we have the shop. Now, when you click on the shop, it will take you to this area here where you can buy various items. For example, if we're interested in rice, you could simply type rice and you would see if there are any bags of rice that are available for sale, and a number of items will come up. It is quite important that if you add this to your shopping cart and then decide to view your shopping cart to pay for it, there is now a mechanism where you can actually use your Lumi as part payment, okay? This is quite important because this is about creating utility around the Lumi. And how do you part pay? You simply, once you put items on your shopping cart, you can just proceed to checkout. And at this point, once you're in checkout, you do realize that there is some information that you might need to provide. Once you've provided all of that, then there is this all-important part pay option here. And this is where the Lumi comes in. At the moment, it will be a proportion that is set by the merchant that is supplying the goods and services. But I think at this particular point in time, the expectation is that 30% of the cost of the item can be paid in Lumi and the rest can be paid in fiat. This is important because the supplier of the good or service may need to actually restock that particular item at a time when their suppliers may not be accepting Lumi in exchange for those items that they are selling. We want to empower them to be able to restock so that this is now done on a more sustainable basis and they can begin to capture their profits in Lumi. So to part pay, you simply drag this slider all the way to the maximum percentage allowed. So in this, for this particular item, you can pay up to $3.19 against that particular item, depending on the setting at the back. But ultimately, when this goes, this shop goes live and is open, and we are thinking it should be open now in a matter of days, then that would represent 30%. So you can choose to pay everything in fiat, in which case you leave the slider all the way to 0. There is no discount. Or you can apply that discount. And once you click apply, then it simply deducts amount cannot be greater than the maximum amount. Okay, what have I done? Okay, that's fair enough. 3, let's see. So if I put a discount, that's 320. All right. Okay, so the idea is that when you apply this discount, it will deduct the amount. Let me empty my cart and just try that again. I'm going to take the item off and I'm just going to add a fresh item on that card. So you go to buy, shop. If I wanted rice, I can select.
Maybe just the pots. Maybe just pick the pots. I can see some nice pots there.
Okay, yes, I can add this one. So if I add this one, I can view the cart. This is just to show you the process, okay? So at this point, you would proceed to make the payment and we would part pay the maximum possible. So this particular item is for 107, so you can pay up to 42. So this looks like 40% currently. Now, when you click at this point, it should deduct, really it should deduct the amount. As you can see here, So that represents a discount that you are effectively getting, and then you're paying the balance, which is 107 minus the 42 that has already been paid for in Lumi, that is the AKL payment, and then you pay the balance with your bank card, and that way the merchant can deliver the product, okay? So it's about utility, and we therefore need to have institutions on the continent in every country that will be able to facilitate the process of accessing Lumi at every level so that we can begin to drive this on a global scale. If I go back to the homepage again, I'll just see if there is something else I need to comment, but of course I'm conscious that we need to keep this very short. Now,
help.
There is a chat option because it's important that if you're buying something from somebody, we provide an internal mechanism to communicate for the buyer and the seller to communicate with each other. So if you click on chat, it actually would open up the opportunity for you to chat and to discuss with everybody. There are a number of options actually available. You can just have a simple chat where you're just exchanging messages. For example, if I wanted to send a message to Delphine, that's my wife, I could simply just type the message here, hi honey, okay, and so forth. But of course, if you're buying a product, then that should be relevant to the product that you're buying, and you can send. It's much the same way as WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever it is. But it has the additional benefit that you can not only have a chat or exchange of messages, you can actually call the person, or you can do a video call, so you have face-to-face. Now, this video call component is quite important because we are expecting that the support team would, and the onboarding.
Sorry, Dr. Linus, sorry.
Yeah.
Support team members, please attend to queries in the chat as we go along. Please, support team members, please attend to queries. Thank you.
Okay. So, for example, if you wanted to onboard somebody who had an ID, one way of doing that is to actually get into a video call with them, and they can show you their ID on the screen. You can capture the image of that ID, and you have a live way of actually doing your KYC in a very difficult and challenging environment, such as the many countries that we are dealing with, because there aren't necessarily very centralized databases for verification of this information. So that provides the added advantage. But this is free. There is no additional cost in using this particular communication tool. If you want to just get out there and use it just within the application itself, you just minimize it. Now, and then there is the all-important area where you can get help. Okay, so if I go back again to the home screen, there is the help component. But before I get to the help component, there is the all-important community aspect, which is here. So to go to community, you can click here, or you can just simply go to post, okay? They both will take you directly to the same place. And this is where we are encouraged to share ideas and to exchange information. So in this red box, you can post your article, and that article then gets shared with people. And the system
I can
build.
Dr. Linus, as you open post, I can see Douglas Maduka. Is it? Who is that? Mukanda.
Yes.
He has posted.
So he has posted. And if I wanted to post,
which is great.
If I want, this is 4 minutes ago. If I wanted to post something, this is. I'm just going to say very quickly. This is a great way to share ideas and knowledge. Across the community, okay? So we want to use it as a tool, which is a knowledge sharing tool. So if you come across something that's important, that's going to benefit other members of the community, please share it. And when you do this, unlike other social media outlets, and this is not a social media outlet, it's just a community tool per se. When you do this, you get compensated, you get paid automatically. So now I have posted. So if I go back to pay, where I did the transaction earlier on, then you would see that I have actually now received a bonus for a post, okay? And this is here, this is live. You can see that. So when you share, both within the Connect community itself and also on other social media outlets, then we expect that you will be compensated when you do this. This is because we all need to play our role in spreading the word, in making sure that we are leveraging the social media outlets that are available all across the globe in order to get our voice heard. And our voice is very strong. It's more than 1.3 billion strong. We just need to make sure that we are speaking in unison in order for us to have the maximum effect that we must have as a people and as a community. Okay, so that's that. And then there is help. Now, there are many questions that people generally might have. And you may find that many of those questions will have been answered in the help section of the community. The help section actually has, you can access it from here as well in the top menu. So you can go to documents or docs, and this will open up the documentation area where if you have an issue about a password, for example, you could simply type password, and there should be a range of documents that might come up, which you can click, and it can then guide you through what you need to do in order to access your password. So forgot password, forgot Swifin Connect password. So this tells you what you need to do, how you need to click on forgot password in order to get your password to be sent to you by email. You enter your email address and then you submit, and then you simply check your email for the information and instructions on what you need to do, okay? Now, if by going through the documentation online, you still have questions, then we have a very strong and reliable support team that is on hand and very effective 24/7. These are more than 40 people that are actually permanently available, at least in some proportion, because we all operate from different parts of the world. And what you can do is simply raise a ticket, okay? So when you click on ticket, it gives you the opportunity to post what your concern is, and somebody will then be able to address that. You just go to tickets, and then you click on new, and it gives you the opportunity to post the information here, all right? That will then be picked up automatically by one of the members of the support team, who will then direct your query to the right department or the right area or the right group, so that it can be dealt with as swiftly as possible. So on that note, I think I've covered most of the items that we wanted to cover in terms of getting you access to this. But of course, many people are probably asking, when are we going to start shopping online? We have one of our vendors from Nigeria who's going to be tackling the Nigerian market. He may be online now and may want to say a word or two. We would, Brother Sevius and Brother B, I'll give you the opportunity to channel that accordingly, whether a team is able to say one or two words. The other important thing is about exchanges and deposits and working with other financial institutions within the Lumi system in order to drive adoption and drive access. And we have, as part of this, there is a process now where ADCB is going to be licensing institutions to operate within the Lumi system, and those institutions can then be able to interface directly with customers and businesses and even governments to provide them access to accounts where they can either manage other currencies or they can manage swaps between the Lumi and other digital assets that they might have. And we have Reverend Frank Ikejija on the call, and I hope he might be able to step forward and say one or two words at the opportune time, but I just wanted to say that. Brother B, I think I've covered generally an overview in terms of how people can navigate existing platform to access services. The key thing is about utility, and the utility cannot really be fully complete without having the partners that provide the goods, the services, and other points of access in order for us to begin to maximize the use of our Lumi. My apologies, I'm coughing. I'm just recovering from COVID second time around.
You're now a COVID specialist.
So I'm going to stop here, if you would permit me. We had indicated that we'll try to keep these sessions short in order to give enough time for questions. And perhaps, Brother Mbi, I'll give it back to you so that you can invite Reverend Frank Ikejija or a team to say one or two words, one regarding the shop online and when that will effectively start, and also as institutions working within the Lumi system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Lyons.
Can we, Brother Mbi, is Reverend Frank available so that maybe he can come in before we look at questions?
I saw him come. Is Reverend Frank? I saw him come through. Maybe he's on mute.
Okay. Whilst we are waiting
Reverend
for him,
Frank?
yeah, I just want to emphasize the need for you to channel your issues to the ticketing system. But before you do that, there is a link that I posted earlier on for documents. These documents are already uploaded on the help portal, whereby you can go through those documents if you have any queries. And then if you don't find the answers there, then you can then raise a ticket as explained earlier on. So it's very important that if you have queries, you go through the documents and then you can raise a ticket. Thank you.